Another edition of the On the Mic podcast rolls on, as does the coverage for Bellator 291. And I kind of geeked out right before we started. And I told them this man on the other side of the camera is someone I've been dying to talk to. And I'm super excited because literally, and I don't think Bellator planned this, but literally just talked to your opponent about 5 minutes ago at Bellator 291. Pedro Carvalho, you will be facing Jeremy Kennedy. With some high stakes implications on the line. First and foremost, sir, thank you for finally being on this show. How are you?
How's it going? No, it's my pleasure to be here. Always good. Always good.
I mean, your fights, you fight like a savage all the time, and I truly think you represent the sport of mixed martial arts in the right way. And especially when you fight in Dublin with Bellator, I mean, you could just take the roof off with your hand and just let the crowd keep roaring. It's incredible from top to bottom what the event will be. But let's just get into it right away with Jeremy Kennedy. You know, he is saying, and you know, this is not me looking for the headline or the clicks. I'm just telling you what he just told me 5 minutes ago. He said he's the A side coming in here. He's coming into enemy territory. He's taking everything. He believes this will give him a title shot with a win over you. First and foremost, he's coming into your home. He's coming in to try and take everything. What is your response to that?
I have no response to that. You know, others tried, others failed. You know what I mean? Baishal said that he wanted to face me in my hometown. He got it. Masvidal said he wanted to face me in my hometown. He got it. He said that he wants to face me in my hometown, and believe me, he gonna get it. So I don't really care what he says, you know, because I know what I'm capable of, and I know once we are in there, they all get a real big reality check, and that's gonna happen with Jeremy Kennedy. You know, he's a good fighter. He's consistent, you know, all that. But this is my time, and I'm just here to prove it. And the rest is rest, and I don't really care about Jeremy Kennedy or anyone else. I'm just focusing myself, go out there, make a statement, and that's exactly going to happen February 25th.
You know, if it wasn't for the judges, you know, giving you a split decision loss back in May of last year.
A loss. Yeah, I'll call it a loss.
That's why I hesitated to say it. But, you know, you'd be on a 3-fight win streak right now, and you're already in this high stakes matchup against Jeremy Kennedy. I've already said what he believes the winner of this fight on his side gets. Do you agree with him? This fight is basically a #1 contender fight for the champion.
It is. On the first place, when we get this fight settled, it was speak. Of course, it's not written in a contract, but it's pretty much verbally said that this is the #1 contender fight, and not only was spoken and settled that way, it only makes sense, because if you count off me and Jeremy, who else is in there on the title mix? No one. Boric just fought for the belt. AJ McKee shouldn't even be in the rankings because he's a lightweight now. And there's Pico. There's just, you know, got injury, he's recovering, and he has to do the comeback. So from the top 5, it's just me and Jeremy Kennedy left. So it is like I win this fight, and I'm fighting for the belt.
I want to ask you about one person. I know you don't care about other fighters, but I do want to ask you. You just mentioned AJ McKee. I know he has said he'd be willing to come back down just to settle the score with Patricio, but we've seen this far too often in the fight game, where two people lock in and then they're kind of stuck together for 2 years, and it kind of keeps the division going back and forth. I know he's focused on the lightweight Grand Prix, and that's all fine, but would you just like him to just stay at 55 and stay out of your way so that you can do what you expect to do this year and beyond?
100%. From that perspective, I wish that he stays there. Not because of him, but because of the situation. Because I would understand, and that's a possibility that, let's say, that he's free to fight, and he comes back to 145. Business wise, from the Bellator perspective, will make sense to make that trilogy fight against Patricio. So that's why I wish that he stays there, so he doesn't get the division on hold for a bit again, especially me, because after this fight I will be the next in the line. So, but like I say, the Grand Prix is gonna start in April, something like that. I do believe that he beats Patricky, so I do believe that AJ McKee is gonna be busy for a few, for time enough that I fight for the belt, win the belt, and become champion.
Well, there's a lot to unpack there, and I want to start with this. We've talked about what's at stake at Bellator 291 on February 25th in Dublin, Ireland. Just take me through, and I know I don't look it, but I am part Irish, and I talk about on all these episodes covering leading up to this event, I've been talking about how special that atmosphere is. And I mentioned it when we first started talking, and you could describe it. And I talked to Sinead Kavanaugh. She said it's something she can't even put into words. But when you put what's on the line, a shot at the title for you, Pedro, a shot to get redemption against Patricio at some point later on, and to do all of that, and know you've got to go take care of Jeremy Kennedy, and you get the chance to do it in Dublin. When I say all those things, what does that mean to you, and what will it mean to you on the night of the 25th when you're walking to the Bellator cage?
If there's a thing that I learned with all this journey and I don't like to say failures, I like to say knowledge lessons, is that I have to take step by step. It's useless for me, even though I know it's not a belief, I know that I'll be fighting for the belt, I know that I'm going to win this fight, but even though I know all that, it doesn't matter. I have to make it happen. And so right now, my head is 100% focused on Jeremy Kennedy, and go out there and make a statement. Not only win, but put on a show and make a statement. And only after I will think about all these star aligned situation that it has become. But until then, my head is focused on February 5th, and until then, it's going to continue like that.
And with the Jeremy Kennedy fight being there in front of the Dublin crowd, if you're just focused on that fight, can you take me through what it'll be like and what it has been like fighting in front of that Dublin crowd? Everyone going crazy for you. They are going to know how high the stakes are. They may not let people at home hear the broadcast because they're going to be so loud. What will that night be like for you?
Oh man, fighting in Dublin is always special, and it all starts from the camp, because every time there's a Bellator show in Dublin, a lot of us from SVG are fighting on their cards. So the atmosphere in the gym is amazing. And then it's the fight week itself. Like I cannot even put in words how good of a vibe it is in the hotel. All the team going around. It's like it's our party. It's so special, and it's the culminating. It's the fight day, the fight night in Tree Arena with the pound for pound best crowd in the world by far, by very far, by very far, and having their crowd that is so special in my side supporting me, like they did from the very first day that I came to this country, pursuing my dream, is just special. And every time I go out there, I always kind of fought like a savage, but I fight even more, because it's the minimum that I can give to these people that helped me so much pursuing my dream. It's giving them a show they will remember, a show there they go home and they're like, oh, piss, that guy fucking dream. Do you see that fight? They're made their ticket worth. And I can proud myself of, I never had a boring fight. I do believe that I'm going to continue like that. But at the same time, like I've said in a previous answer, that I also learn a lot. And sometimes not about who's the more savage guy, it's who's the more smart. And that's what I've been, what I'm going to keep. I focus on Masvidal fight, and I'm going to keep focus on that. I want to be the smarter guy. And if the fighter goes to those deep waters is what I feel the best. That's my natural habitat. So that's when I can release the savage and just fucking go out there and do my thing. But until then, until it's really needed, I'm just go out there, play smart, pick my shots, and pick my time and get there out of there as clean as possible.
You mentioned your team, and I don't want to keep you too much longer. I appreciate you making the time for me today. You talked about your team, SBG Ireland, and coming over to the country and what it's meant to you. We've seen through your career, so I don't want to just sit here and ask what have they done for you as a fighter, but I would say as someone who is a marquee fighter, someone that people spend their dollars to go see, and you are the talk of the town come fight night, and you are put in these high profile situations. Just from that standpoint as a fighter, but also as a man, what has coming over to Team SBG Ireland done for you personally and professionally, putting you in the right places with the right mindset to be where you are at right now?
I mean, to be honest, it's hard and it's unfair to resume into a few words everything that has been done for me and everything that happened in these last 6-7 years since I came here. And I can the best way that I can resume is like in a lot of places, articles, and even people around. I'm kind of known like the adopted son, and that for me, it's like when I hear that from other people, you don't imagine how much of a joy it gives me, how much of a warm I feel, And I remember last time when I fought here in Dublin against Masvidal, it was just great because we were a lot of fighters from the gym, But there was one day they were doing media, and they just joined the Irish fighters to like make a picture of only the Irish fighters. And I was among them. And even though it might seem like very random or very like not important at all, for me that was so important, being called to be among the group of Irish fighters, represent basically. I was in there as one of the Irish representing Ireland. It was so special for me, and it has been so special for me. And it wasn't supposed like it's funny because since I lost to Patricio, and I said on others interviews that I hit rock bottom in my career and even in my life. Was dark times. It wasn't supposed, but it was kind of till now the perfect build-up, because all this build-up for me back at title contention was all made here in Ireland against Weichel, then against Masvidal, now against Jeremy Kennedy, and who knows if when I fight for the belt will be maybe end of this year here in Dublin as well. So it's been a amazing journey, a journey that I will never forget. And that's why every time I do that walk, I carry with big pride the Irish flag, and I will continue to do it because this is my home as well. I don't call it second home; it's my home. Period. The same way that Portugal, Guimarães, my city, is my home. Dublin, Ireland, is my home, and I will forever represent and fight for the color of these flags, the same way I fight for the colors of Portugal flag. So yeah, it's been a good journey, and we're just getting started.
Pedro, I got goosebumps hearing that, and not that it's about me. It's not that this is important, but I'm actually also adopted. So to hear you say the adopted son, I understand what it's like when you get those moments. So it makes complete sense to me, and I think that was beautiful. That's a beautiful gesture to have you a part of it. The Irish crowd speaks on your behalf. And kind of just wrap this all up, what should we expect? I know you're going to come in and you're ready to go into these deep waters. and we know you can be a savage, but you want to be the smarter fighter. What can we expect from you against Jeremy Kennedy at Bellator 291 on February 25th?
Well, pretty much it all gonna start with him, because I do know, even though he might talk, crap about how bad of a fighter he is, how bad he is related to me, better striker, better this, like I heard in other interviews, whatever. I know that he's not gonna stand there and strike with me. I just know I am, in fact, a better striker than he is, even though he's very consistent, and you cannot make mistakes because he is very technical. His thing is pretty much, it will pretty much be very, in his regard, very similar to what happened with Mats Vernal. He's just gonna try to pin me against the fence, try to take me down, try to eventually stay on top if he gets me down, and fight with the clock. That's always what he does, and I have no doubt that's what he's gonna try to do on February 25th. In the other hand, I just know, as knowing that this is, I think is the perfect fight for me, because not only I'm so used to fight these kind of guys, because this is what I do on daily basis in the gym against world-class grapplers for the past 7 years, where I just have to go in there, try to improve my game, and they just pin me and I get out. They try to take me down, but they can't keep me down. And man, when you try to do that game and you have someone that you just can't keep it down or keep it pinned, and as soon he breaks, he's straight away in your face, punching you, and you try all over again, it's not fun. It's not fun. And believe me, in his regard, it's not going to be very fun. And I expect to go out there and make it clean, but I'm ready to go out there and make it dirty like I like it. So one way or the other, my hand will be raised. If it's a finish, if it appears a finish, I'll be ready to knock him out. I'll be ready to submit him, but I'm not going to be chasing it. I'm just going to be in there, do my thing. And what really matters is what's going to happen. And what's going to happen is me having my hand raised February 35th.
Well, I was super excited to talk to you, and I've wanted to talk to you for a long time, and it exceeded my expectations. Hopefully, it's not the only time we will ever talk. I hope I can have you back on again in the future. Especially,
maybe when I'm fighting for the belts after this.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. Pedro Carvalho, thank you so much for the time. Can't wait to see you face Jeremy Kennedy, Bellator 291 on February 25th. Here in the States, the Super Bowl just happened for American football, but for me, any Bellator Dublin show is my Super Bowl in the fighting world. And with a fight like this, the stakes are super high. I can't wait. Pedro Carvalho, thank you very much.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.